The clock on the wall ticked louder than usual as Ethan Blackwood stared out the floor-to-ceiling window of his penthouse office. At 36, he had everything most people could only dream of: luxury cars, private jets, mansions in 3 countries, and a business empire worth hundreds of millions. Yet none of it mattered anymore. The doctor's words still echoed in his mind like a curse. You have only 1 month left before the treatment begins. After that, your chances of ever having a biological child will be almost zero. Ethan clenched his fists. The diagnosis wasn't fatal, but the aggressive medical treatment required to save his health would leave him unable to father a child. For years, he had ignored the idea of marriage and family while building his empire. Now, suddenly, time had become his greatest enemy. He wanted an heir, not for his fortune, but for the legacy he had spent his entire life creating. But finding someone he could trust within 30 days seemed impossible. As the days passed, Ethan's desperation grew. His lawyers suggested contracts. His advisors recommended agencies. Some even proposed surrogate arrangements. But every option felt cold and transactional. He wanted certainty, yet he also wanted dignity. Rumors about his situation spread through elite social circles, attracting women who seemed more interested in his wealth than in helping him build a future. Every meeting left him more disappointed. Some demanded outrageous sums of money. Others treated the situation like a business deal. Ethan began to lose hope. Perhaps fate had decided that all his success would end with him. Among the people who witnessed his struggle was Olivia Carter, the private nurse assigned to monitor his treatment. Olivia was 28, intelligent, compassionate, and hardworking. She came from a modest background and had spent years caring for patients while supporting her younger brother through university. Unlike everyone else around Ethan, she never treated him as a millionaire. To her, he was simply another patient facing a difficult chapter of life. She noticed the sadness hidden behind his confident exterior. She saw how he stayed awake at night staring into darkness, burdened by fears he never voiced aloud. One evening, after a particularly difficult medical consultation, Ethan sat alone in the hospital garden. The city lights shimmered in the distance while cold winds swept through the trees. Olivia approached quietly and offered him a cup of coffee. For several minutes, neither spoke. Finally, Ethan broke the silence. Do you know what it feels like to spend your entire life building something, only to realize there may be nobody left to carry it forward? Olivia looked at him carefully. Legacy isn't only about blood, she said softly. Ethan smiled bitterly. Maybe. But I still wish I had the chance. Something in his voice touched her heart. For the first time, she saw not a powerful businessman but a lonely man running out of time. Over the next week, their conversations became longer. Ethan found himself looking forward to seeing Olivia each day. She listened without judgment. She challenged his assumptions. She reminded him that life wasn't always about control and planning. Meanwhile, Olivia discovered a side of Ethan few people ever saw. Beneath the expensive suits and billionaire status was a man who carried immense responsibility and loneliness. A friendship slowly formed between them, surprising them both. Then came the day everything changed. Ethan received news that his treatment schedule had been moved forward. Instead of 1 month, he now had only 3 weeks. The pressure became unbearable. That evening, Olivia found him sitting alone in his office, staring at legal documents spread across his desk. His eyes looked exhausted. You haven't slept, she observed. Ethan laughed humorlessly. Sleep won't solve anything. Olivia hesitated. Her heart raced. She knew what she was about to say could change both their lives forever. Taking a deep breath, she stepped closer. What if I helped you? Ethan frowned. Helped me how? Olivia swallowed hard. If what you want is a chance at having a child before your treatment, I'm willing to help. The room fell silent. Ethan stared at her, unsure he had heard correctly. Olivia continued before fear could stop her. I'm not saying this lightly. I know the risks. I know the complications. But if it means helping someone I respect achieve something that matters deeply to him, then I'm willing. Ethan's shock quickly turned into concern. Why would you do that? Olivia lowered her gaze. Because I know what it's like to lose something important because of circumstances beyond your control. She paused before adding, and yes, the financial security would help my family. I won't pretend otherwise. For several moments, neither spoke. Ethan could have accepted immediately. It would solve his problem. It would give him hope. Yet something inside him resisted. The more he thought about it, the more he realized Olivia had become more than just a nurse or a potential solution. She had become someone he genuinely cared about. No, he said quietly. Olivia blinked in surprise. No. Ethan shook his head. I won't turn you into a contract. I won't reduce your kindness to a transaction. Olivia looked stunned. She had expected many reactions, but not this one. The following days were filled with uncertainty. Despite Ethan's refusal, the bond between them continued to deepen. They shared stories about their childhoods. They laughed together. They supported each other through difficult moments. Gradually, both began to realize their connection had grown into something neither had planned. What started as sympathy had become friendship. Friendship was becoming something far more powerful. One rainy evening, as they stood beneath the hospital entrance watching the storm, Ethan finally spoke the truth he had been hiding. The reason I said no wasn't because I didn't want your help. Olivia looked up at him. Then why? Ethan smiled gently. Because somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing you as a solution to my problem. I started seeing you as the person I wanted beside me regardless of what happened. Olivia's breath caught in her throat. For a moment, the world around them seemed to disappear. What neither of them realized was that their greatest challenge was still ahead. Powerful rivals wanted control of Ethan's company. Family members eager for inheritance were watching closely. And secrets from Ethan's past were about to surface, threatening everything they had begun to build together. Yet as they stood beneath the rain-lit sky, neither cared about wealth, contracts, or deadlines. For the first time, they believed that some things were worth fighting for, not because of money, but because of love, trust, and the possibility of a future neither had expected.